Good to see you here this happy holiday season. I'm just going to start off with something that has nothing to do with anything, because that's how I like to start. But I'm just so grateful for my life and just ending up being here thanks to these two here in Fort Worth. I love it. I don't think I shared this with you guys, but when I was on the cruise, I was sitting at the table with a gentleman who lives somewhere in Texas, and he comes up to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He does some training and stuff, and he said he got the bright idea that he'd come to Dallas, and call, and just tell the people in Fort Worth to come on over, because it's the same. In Dallas and Fort Worth, excuse me, I'm sorry. So sorry. Let me stop you right there. He said, yeah, that right there, that's what I learned. It is not the same. It is not. It is not. And I love it so much being here, and I particularly love the community that I live in. And I got here today and had this on, and we were talking yesterday about what we're going to do, because at 2 o'clock, right, we're all sticking around for the concert, and so we're supposed to wear, black on the bottom and solid on the top, and of course this works beautifully for that. And that's the rule. That's how we do it. We're all supposed to kind of look alike. And so I said, oh, shoot, I forgot my black dress. I'm going to have to pack up my bag and go back home and pick up a blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I don't have to do that at all. I have neighbors. So I called my beautiful neighbors, and they brought everything in. So thank you so much. I love my life. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. It's a beautiful life. And so I want to talk with you guys today. My talk is keep your feet moving, and I'll tie that back in to what that means. But last week I talked about answer the call. And I'm always talking about what we get to do, like how we have a great life. And it feels like I'm always giving you some marching orders. Let's go out, and here are our action steps, and here's how we're going to have this great life, and here's blah, 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 blah. And that is what we do. But I wanted to talk with you today about what it means to keep your feet moving, and why I'm always talking with you about that. Because we are about having the best life possible. And I don't want you to feel like, I don't know if I'm going to go to church this morning or go to Cinder this morning, because I didn't do what she said last week, so I don't want to talk about it, because she'll say, how'd it go? And I don't want to have anything to say. So, but that's not how it is. So I want to come back and talk about that a little bit, about why I say let's keep our feet moving. It's a quote that my son told me. He says, the whole quote is, and it's a couple of quotes together, but he says, keep your feet moving because the marathon continues, which means life continues. Whether we move our feet or we don't, life is going to keep on moving forward, but that's what it does. And me asking all the time, what's next? I think that may give some people some angst, but that's not. It's not doing. Moving forward doesn't necessarily mean doing something. So I want to clarify what I mean when I talk about having a great life and what that looks like. And in growing up in the Black Baptist church, which is different from the White Baptist church, it's very different. And there's something that we say. There's a quote that we say. And it says, wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. And maybe you guys say that in the white church too, I don't know. We say it all the time. I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Which just means that whatever happens, because life has this, right? I mean, MLK tells us that the arc of the universe is long, but it tends up. And so what we believe is that our life is going to be long, life is going to be long, and it's going to tend up. But it doesn't mean that every day is fabulous and joyous. It's not. We go through things. Our family goes through things, right? We have health challenges and things that we want to do and don't quite get done. We don't necessarily have the money we want. Sometimes, this just doesn't always work out. But that doesn't mean, when we look back on our life, that life hasn't been doing this. It's been trending up, been trending towards joy and what is good. And so I just wanted to make sure that I tell you that. And what I'm talking about when I say, decide what you want to do, is because we are always evolving. This is what we are doing. We're teleological, which means there's always something within us wanting to come out, wanting to become, wanting to be, wanting to evolve. And so I'm always talking about evolving on purpose, consciously keeping your feet moving. And consciously keeping your feet moving just simply means to make a decision about your life. And I talk about my favorite guru, which is Brian Tracy, in his book Maximum Achievement. He talked about a lot of the universal laws that we talk about. And one of the ones that he talks about is the law of control, which I use. I use a lot of the laws. And someone said, I think in our afterwards, said, really all these laws are the same. They're just different ways of saying it. And I said, tell me that. Tell me more about that. He said, well, it's all about how you think. Everything comes back to how you think. And I go, you know what? I like that. You're exactly right. It's different ways in which to think about how to think. But they all come back to how do you think? What are the thoughts in your head? And so the law of control says this, that we feel happy about our lives to the degree that we feel in control of our lives. We feel happy about our lives to the degree that we feel in control of our lives. And being in control of your life simply means that you are making decisions about your life. You're not just flowing willy-nilly in the air. Like anytime somebody comes up with an idea, you think, oh, that might be a good idea. Maybe I'll go this way. Oh, that was a good idea. Let me go this way. Oh. You're just kind of floating in the wind. So you feel like the things that are going on in your life, you're not a part of. Like you're just floating in the wind, and life is happening to you, as opposed to you happening to life, to your life. We were talking to Brandon this morning about how to take control of your life, about how to budget, about how that you get to decide. You get to decide how you want to live your life, how you want to spend your money, who you want to hang out with. This is what makes you happy about your life, making decisions. That's why I'm constantly coming back to you and saying, what do you want to do? What's next? It's not that you have to go and do something. It's simply thinking about and deciding. And even if, so I separated from Jason in 2018. 2018, that was a while back. It feels like yesterday, but it was a while back. And I'll tell you, for the first 2 years, when I was sitting over there in that apartment in Addison, I came over here and I did some work, and I'd go back home, and I'd sit in my room, turn on the television, get a bag of popcorn, and cry. 2 years, because my heart was broken. It's not the life I was looking for, okay? But I gave myself permission. I did that on purpose because that's what my heart needed to do, okay? I needed to heal, and there was nothing else I could do. I could come over here and be with you guys, which was fabulous, and then go home and sit and cry. That's it. It's okay. So we need to give ourselves permission to be where we are and do what is necessary in the moment. It doesn't mean that we're always thinking, oh, yes, rah, rah, I got plans. Sometimes the plan is just to sit and sit. Just sit there, maybe watch some television. When I'm not feeling good, I watch comedies. Oh, my God. Just so I can, Lucy cracks me up. I watch Lucy over and over and over again. So whatever it takes. So when I ask you about what's next, I'm not saying that you have to always have this plan of moving out and moving forward. You can be very happy with where you are right now, and that is great. That you're making a decision about being where you are, and that's what makes you happy about your life, because you've decided this is where I'm going to be, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. This is where my life is right now, and I'm good with it. So I just want to tell you that we just get to choose our life. The other thing I want to just talk about, I'm not going to be long. This is a black thing, but I'm really serious. I'm not going to be long now. As I close. As I close. All right, so as I close. And to add to that little piece, what if we loved ourselves enough to give ourselves a break, right? Because I know I was sitting and watching. I had to give myself permission to sit and watch television and cry, because I was just thinking, oh, you're pitiful. This is sad. You're not doing anything. Yeah, I am doing something. I'm sitting here crying. It's because my heart is broken, and that's enough. That's all I can do, and I'm okay with it. So we give ourselves permission to be where we are. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody else needs to give you permission. You can do it. The God in you can do it. God knows what you need, and you need to be there, quiet, or whatever it is you need to do. So the other thing that I wanted to share with you is about, because I'm always saying that you can't answer a question that hasn't been asked, right? And sometimes that's a hard concept for people to get, and so I keep trying to talk about it in different ways. So we're at dinner the other night, and we talked about some pretty heady things, and we were talking about racism. And someone asked me if I'd ever experienced racism. And I have. I'm a black person. I'm a woman, I have. But it's so rare as to be just about negligible. It has to be so overt. You pretty much have to walk up and say, I don't like your kind. And you know what I mean? It has to be so obvious that for me to get it. So, maybe I experienced more. Maybe more things have happened, but I didn't experience it. Let me just say that. I didn't experience it. But a friend of mine reminded me. He said, I want to share how you responded to an overt racist thing that happened to me fairly recently. And I thought, oh, yeah, you're right. Things that did happen. And I'm not going to share the story. The story doesn't matter. But what I want to say about it is a woman made an assumption about me based on my race. She made an assumption. And I just, oh, well, thank you for that. That's not about what I do, because that's not what I have. That's not what I'm doing. But thank you. And just thinking about her and what she said, I realized, again, how we love other people is to have compassion, right? I realized she had absolutely no idea that she had said something racist to me. Zero idea. I knew that. I knew she didn't know. She had no idea. And here's why she didn't know. Because she didn't question her thinking. So it's not about other people questioning. You're like I said, you can't answer a question that hasn't been asked, and it's assuming that someone else, you're talking and trying to give somebody else advice. But you also have to question yourself, right? Question what you think. Question your assumptions. If you don't ask or question what you think, you won't be able to change or evolve either, right? We only know what we believe we know. And we won't know the truth unless we question it. Or unless we're willing to actually listen to someone else tell us about something that has occurred. So, I've shared with you that my son and I were estranged for many years, and I was just so happy. Who understands? Is this Alexa? Is that Alexa? Is that? Do I have my? I heard it, but I don't know what it was. I don't have my phone here. I have no idea who that was. But anyway, thank you, whoever you are. George. It was George. George hears me. Okay. Georgette. It was a Georgette. You're right. It was Georgette. So anyway, I've shared with you that my son and I were estranged for a while, and then he came out here and moved his family here, and I'm just so excited, still excited, so excited about him being here. And then come to find out a little while after they were here, they were having, my son and my daughter-in-law were having some troubles with their relationship. And so they're still working on it, doing good, still going to counseling, individual counseling and marriage counseling, so they're doing really well. But he shared with me from the individual counseling that he's had, that he felt abandoned by me. He felt that I had abandoned him. Now, the reason why we don't want to ask questions, or we don't want to question what we think, is because we may have to admit that we did something wrong. We may have to admit that we hurt somebody. We may have to admit that what we thought was good wasn't perceived as good, okay? We have to admit that. And so for my son to say that, and it was so brave of him to share that with me, because I know he didn't want, because I know he loves me, and I know he loves what we're doing now, and I know he didn't want to share that with me, but I'm so glad that he did. And I said, I understand. I did let you go to your fathers, and I didn't fight for you. I didn't. And there's lots of reasons why I didn't, but I did not. I did not fight for him, so I could easily see how he would feel abandoned. And I said, I'm so sorry that you feel that way. I'm so sorry that happened, and I love you, and I'm glad we're here now. But that is the reason why we have to, I never would have thought that. I thought I was doing a good thing by letting him go to be with his father. And it was, that wasn't a bad thing. But your heart feels what your heart feels, okay? Doesn't matter what my intention was. His heart felt like his mother abandoned him. Can you imagine what that feels like? I can imagine what it feels like for me to, yeah, I know you can. What it feels like if I thought my mother didn't want me, okay? So, bring us back up to off that downer. Just saying that to have the life that we want, that makes us happy, we just make decisions about how we want to live and give ourselves permission to do that which we want to do. It doesn't have anything to do with what anybody else thinks. Doesn't have to do with anybody else thinks about what you're doing. It's what you feel. And so now you're in control of your life because you made a decision. Yes or no, stay or go, whatever it is. That's how we feel happy about our lives. What we do in order to, I hate this term, but this term is being used a lot, to stay awake, to be woke, is to ask ourselves, to question what we believe, to question what we think, again and again. If we don't ask ourselves the question, we don't want to know the answer, do we? That's why we're not asking. So just ask yourself every now and again, why do I think that? Why do I believe that? Or if someone is trying to tell you something, and one of the things that I do have, and has occurred with sometimes when I have gotten something, someone has said something or done something that has made me feel like it was a racial statement or in a racial situation, to try and talk with them to say, here's how I feel, here's what happened, and then to get argument. That's not what I did. Okay. Then I stop talking because they're not open to hearing, right? They're not asking the question, did I do something? They're not asking. So I stopped talking. So if we do get that, if we get that from someone who said, hey, this is how I felt about something, we don't have to take it on. We don't have to feel like, oh my God, they think I'm a bad person. No, they obviously love you by sharing that with you. And so just open yourself up to hearing what happened. Saying, okay, may I share with you what I was trying to do? I'm sorry, that's not how it worked out. Here's what I was trying to do. Here was my intention. I see now I could do it. I could have done it differently. Could have done it better. Again, you see, we're just trying to have a great life, whatever that looks like. Whatever that looks like. So the next time I ask you, what's next for you? Well, I think I'm going to go watch Avatar. What are you doing? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you're going to do next. Just that you've decided. Because by living your life on purpose, making the decisions and choices for your life is how you have the greatest life possible. And so it is. Namaste.